What's one way to hold U.S. government officials accountable?
The I word, impeachment.
But as we've seen recently, impeachment hasn't always led to meaningful consequences, and the term has been thrown around a lot over the last few years.
Should the president be impeached?
He should be impeached.
Deserves impeachment.
Impeachment. Impeachment.
Impeachment.
So, what exactly is impeachment, and is it truly working the way it was intended? Impeachment is a constitutional tool that allows lawmakers to investigate and potentially remove high-ranking officials from office due to serious misconduct. It's basically used to protect and maintain trust in our government institutions. However, impeachment does not necessarily mean removal from office. It only refers to the process of bringing charges against an official. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, for example, were two US presidents who were impeached but stayed in power. But who exactly can be impeached? According to the Constitution, the President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States can be subjected to this process. But the text does not specify who qualifies as a civil officer. Federal judges, Supreme Court justices, cabinet-level officers, and presidents have all faced impeachment. Members of Congress, however, have historically been exempt from the list. Here's how the process works. First, a formal accusation is carried out by the House of Representatives, where they bring articles of impeachment, or charges, against an official for treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors.
The question of high crimes and misdemeanors is one that is left to every individual member to decide.
If a majority of the House votes to adopt the charges, the official has been impeached. The case is then sent to the Senate, where a trial is conducted. In the case of a president, the trial is presided over by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. If the Senate finds him guilty by a minimum 2/3 majority vote, the official is removed from office, and if the Senate chooses to bar them, they may never be able to hold elected office again. But if they're not found guilty, they can continue to serve. While the House has initiated impeachment proceedings more than 60 times, only 21 of those have resulted in actual impeachments. And just 8 cases have been found guilty and removed from office by the Senate, all of them federal judges. Most notably, there have been 3 US presidents impeached by Congress, but none of them were removed from office. Andrew Johnson in 1868, after clashing repeatedly with Congress over Reconstruction politics of the South following the Civil War. Bill Clinton in 1998, after, among other things, lying under oath about his affair with a White House intern.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
And Donald Trump in 2019 and again in 2021. First for asking a foreign power to investigate his political opponent, Joe Biden, and a second time for encouraging his followers to disrupt the congressional certification of the 2020 election.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
I never thought a word would sound so good. It's called total acquittal.
There's also Richard Nixon, who in 1974 was being investigated over his administration's abuse of power to secure his re-election, also known as the Watergate scandal. But he resigned before he could officially be impeached.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
But how did impeachment come about in the first place? In the United States, impeachment can be traced back to 14th century Britain. This practice was later inherited by the 13 original American colonies. But the framers came up with their own version. Whereas the English could impeach any individual except for the crown, America would hold public officials, including the president, accountable. And it's been a part of US politics ever since. But while impeachment is a vital component of our democracy, it's not a foolproof method to uphold the rule of law. As you can see, it's incredibly rare for someone to be removed from office, even when it seems like their actions warrant it. Impeachment is a political process, and the party makeup of Congress often influences the outcome. But this high bar also reflects the intentions of our founding fathers. They viewed impeachment as an exceptional process that should be difficult, and not subject to the whims of political majorities. And the rules in the Constitution ensure that it is only used under extraordinary circumstances. But when our elected leaders are influenced by partisan politics, our democracy's checks and balances, like impeachment, become much less effective. They must be constantly reminded in the voting booth that no one is above the law.
We must go forward based on truth, and I think it's very important that we make sure whomever we elect is somebody who will be faithful to the Constitution.
So, what do you think? Is impeachment working the way it was intended?